From the killing of African Americans, riots, protests, and the pandemic affecting more than 70% of African Americans, the question still reigns, where does Black America go from here? You're watching The Michael Finkley Show.
Michael Finkley Show. Today we're talking about something so sensitive, so out there in the world that is affecting people that look like us that you see on our screen right now. Right now we have three gentlemen that are here to share their stories, their experience, and give their input about the state of Black America. So let's just start with Avery. Introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Hey, Michael, thank you so much, first and foremost, for inviting me to be a part of this amazing panel. Such an awesome platform. I've been following your story, your page for quite some time, and I'm honored and humbled to be a part of it. My name is Avery Rosser. I am a licensed professional counselor here in the state of Georgia. I own and operate a mental health outpatient private practice in Snellville, where I specialize in child and adolescent counseling, as well as serving the military population. I do work as well with the military population through the Office of Suicide Prevention, through their Veterans and Military Crisis Line. And I am also one of the founding members of the Counseling Brothers of Atlanta.
Awesome. Thank you, Avery. Wow. Thank you so much for being on. Terrance.
Mike, man, listen, man, thank you so much, man, for having me on, man. This is such a huge honor. Okay, brother. So, man, listen, man,
You're
peace
welcome.
and blessings to you, my guy, man. It's my brother, man. My name is Terrance Tucker, son of Gussie and James Tucker, the great ones. I am a mentor, counselor. But I run this, let's say, this impactful mentoring nonprofit called the Tuck Project, man, where we help young men, we help them see their future. We've been making moves since 2016. And it has been one huge, man, blessing, man. My young men, listen, man, they make me proud every single day. We actually have 5 young men leaving next week to go to college. So I'm super happy about that, man. So I'm so thankful to be here because everybody on this call, man, you guys, man, you're nothing but rock stars, man. So listen, man, blessings, man. My guy Jamal here, man, he knows that we all look up to him, okay? So listen, man, thanks again, Mike, man, and let's rock on, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Terrance. Yes, sir. Jamal.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, world as well, too. YouTube land, Facebook world, Instagram, everybody out there. T-Tuck, is hard to follow up on that one, sir. And I wore the Allen University just for you, man. So best HBCU in the land, always got to plug that in,
That's it.
So definitely want to shout that out, HBUC grad. But my name is Jamal Stroud, and I'm the founder of Big Homie Little Homie Mentoring Program, and we work with at-risk boys who are in single parent homes. And then we also have a summer camp as well too, called Camp Champs, and just basically just trying to turn our campers into the best versions of themselves for the summer, and hopefully that'll go all year round. And I'm a father of 2, husband. I'm just a person that's here to work in the community and just try to uplift everybody and work with people, because I learned in this community that it's better to work with people than try to work alone and try to, tackle everything by yourself. So I'm just honored to be up here. Mike, definitely appreciate you, man. We travel the world together, man.
That's it.
So definitely appreciate you. And the young man as well, too, man. I'm ready to learn more about you, man. I'm hyped up about it, man. So I know Mike got you on here. I know you're going to be dropping gems. So I'm definitely here to learn some knowledge, get some tools.
You see what kind of shirt he got on?
Oh, okay. I see you. I see you. So definitely, man. So I'm just honored to be here and just ready to do this thing, man. Thank you so much.
All
Yeah.
right. No, thank you all. Thank you all. And each of you have a unique story. So let's get down to it. You've seen in the media where the names George, Ahmad, Michael, they ring within our minds. And so I feel that George kind of set it off a little bit for us into protesting, into the different things that are happening for Black Lives Matter. What were you all thinking when that moment happened to George? What was going through your mind at the time? Let's start with Avery.
The first thing I thought was, no, not again.
Right. Right.
You would think that at some point the world will understand the pain and the suffering that we as Black people continue to endure. So when I saw that, it broke my heart, right? I think that oftentimes the more and more we see, we can become numb to it, and it doesn't necessarily affect us as much. But for me, it's a soft spot in my heart for it, right? Every time I see something like that, I cringe. I'm filled with so many emotions, from anger to sadness to grief to even feeling motivated to, okay, I need to do something. What is it that I can do to shed light on this, but also act in a more of a proactive way to create change? So when I originally saw it, I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was hurt.
Yeah. How do you feel, Terrance? What was going through your mind?
Oh man, just here we go again, man. This is just something that keeps happening to us with no ramifications. Okay. When you're sitting there watching someone, die for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, that does something to you. You know what I'm saying? And what does it say about the, let's say about the whole police system? You know what I'm saying? Because this has been happening, right? But the thing is now it's being filmed. So what would have happened if it had not been filmed?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Would we be talking about it? You see?
Yes.
So now, we all know that, you can't change somebody who just wants to be racist, right? But you can change how you govern racism. You see what I'm saying? And we need to start holding these people accountable. Look, listen, man, listen, my kids, your kids, right, their kids, there will always be racism, right? But man, we have to start worrying about, how we can get these young men to move past racism, okay? Because listen, Mike, you've experienced it, man. Brother, you have too, man. Jamal, you have too, man. We all have been judged by this right here. We all have, okay? But we are still, what? Successful, okay? So now we have to use, right? We all have voices too, okay? So now we have to do what we have to do to make sure that these young men coming up, right, Jamal, your sons as well, right, know what to do when they're faced with, those barriers.
Yeah, definitely. Well said. Jamal.
Mine was, I really took it personal.
Yeah.
And with that being said, that could have been me, that could have been you, that could have been anybody, that has the same color skin as us. Just the simple fact that, it was on the, other side of, of the world, but at the same time, that could have been my son, that could have been my little homies, that could have been anybody that I really come in contact with. So it was like, I started to question myself, am I doing enough? Just starting to question, like, what we doing, is it truly effective? Am I truly saving a life? Am I worth this, this goal of this challenge and everything of that nature? Because like I tell people, people get accolades and get all of the praise, but at the same time, our boys are dying. Our men are
Every
getting
day.
enslaved every
Mhm.
day. And it's just a simple fact that, we here trying to do this, trying to be a spotlight, trying to be a beacon, but are we really truly living up to the task? So that's what I was having doubts in myself, just watching the news and watching, people tear up things and protest.
Okay. He's gonna come back.
Little man taking over. Little man
Right.
taking over. But
He's
listen,
gonna come back.
when he comes back. But what I did, when this happened, man, was set back and learned.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, we don't need to actually talk. We need to, really learn about what's really going on out here. You know what I'm saying? Because, when that happened, man, my young men called me. They were like, "Hey, man, we confused. Like, what's going on out here?" You know what I mean? And for the first time, bro, I really had no kind of, no, let's say, rebuttal. You know what I'm saying? Because my mind was just simply confused. But what we have to do is make sure that we have those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
Like, that's so imperative, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, like, you can march and, but listen, we need to have those uncomfortable conversations right now, man.
Definitely. And with those conversations, we know they're tough, they're rough, but even in talking and even in marching, do you feel with all of your heart and sinew that this will ever end?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And if I may, I'll go even farther with that. I don't think it will. I think racism is a generational curse, right? It is something that is passed down, has been passed down from generation to generation and generation. Some father, some mother is teaching their kid to hate people based off the color of their skin right now.
Of course.
As long as that's continuing to be taught to kids, this will continue to happen, right? We can implement all sorts of laws or all sorts of governing type of procedures, but what you can't change is a person's heart like that, right?
That's it.
That is the hardest. I won't say you can't, but that is the hardest thing to get through is a person's heart. When you have hate in your heart, it doesn't matter what law you have in place.
Right.
Right? We've seen that. We continue to see that there's a law, but these people still have so much hate in their heart for the black man that they feel that the law doesn't even apply to them. And in a lot of cases, what we've been seeing is that it doesn't apply to them, right? None of them are being held accountable. They've been arrested, but what we're seeing is that there's one thing to be arrested, right? To be charged. There's another thing to actually be truly held accountable, right? To truly be, all right, you're guilty. All right. And that's what we're not seeing. We're not seeing these people truly being held accountable. We're seeing these slap on the wrist. Oh yeah, let's do this. We need to quiet the black folks, right? That's what we're seeing. And that's what's truly getting to me is that I hear people like, yeah, they're arrested. I'm like, okay, that's cool and well, but I'm ready for them to be found guilty. Like that's when I have some sense of relief, a small sense of relief.
Yeah, definitely. Jamal, you want to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to add to the part. I had one of the little homies came up to me and stated that he hated white people and he hated police. So with that being said, this is a 7-year-old. Now he's holding that baggage and holding that hurt just because what he sees on TV. So, and I was trying to explain to him, not all cops are bad. There is a big population that are bad. That's still getting away with everything. So just trying to teach him that part, because I don't want him to hold that hatred in his heart and he run across a cop and say the wrong thing, and guess what? His life is in danger. And he's another statistic and everything. And then on top of that, with the white people situation, and I was telling him, it's like my brother said, it's deeply enrooted into their heritage. It's been passed down from generation to generation. And we may have, you know, a few generations that may try to break the curse, but it's going to be a big, big task. And I don't want to sound, you know, daunting or sounding negative, but honestly, I truly don't think it's ever going to get resolved. It's kind of going to be, the way I see it now, it's like, oh, this is a new fad. This is a new trend. Okay, black is in, you know, and everything of that nature, you know, but it's just like a Band-Aid, like a scab, you know. Time as it get old next year, are we still going to keep that energy up and holding people accountable for what they're doing and what they're saying, all of the things on social media? Are we going to hold them accountable truly, you know, and everything of that nature? So I just I hope it don't fade away. And, you know, next year we back in the same situation where somebody else is dying. And honestly, this is going on every day. Honestly, it just so happened to hit the media that hard. And there are so many different names. I was watching BET. They did a really great thing with the, you know, naming everybody that got, you know, fall into these, you know, impresses and everything of that nature. But there are so many nameless people that's out there that's going through this problem every day throughout America. And those are the people that's not even being heard about what's going on, the police brutality, the racism and everything. So it's just, it's scary, honestly. And before I got interrupted, my son disconnected me. But basically, I was questioning myself on why did I bring my 2 children into this world, into this hatred world and everything of that nature, because they're going to grow up and they're going to be judged by the color of their skin as well too. And it's just like a thing going on and on and on. So it's like, how can we break the curse? How can we truly break the curse? If we can't, how can we make it a little bit better so that my son, your nephew, your friend don't have to go through the same things that we're going through, or the same thing that our ancestors didn't have to go through as well too. So it's just, it's a wild situation, but like T Tuck said, we got to have those uncomfortable conversations. You know, it's not gonna be all peaches and cream, dancing and laughing. You know, we got to get to the work sometime as well too, and that's for all races as well. You know.
Definitely, yes, sir. You guys laying some awesome jewels here. And then also, I wanted to input also where I think Avery, you said it, how it's a generational thing, right? Let's look back into history, 1619. When the first slaves came to America, came to this land. Before then, you know, we were 200 and some odd years behind the white man already. Free, back in 1863, you know, whatever that looked like, and then moving on towards segregation, desegregation. So we're always going to be centuries behind. Place that was never designed for us. Never designed for us. They always pencil us in. And so when we're in present day and we look at what's happening right now, how are we supposed to act? I don't get it. We act the right way, things still happen. We act the wrong way, things still happen. I just don't get it. I don't know where the line is, especially for people that look like us. I don't know.
It's you know, Mike, man, be honest with you, man, you know, man, you know, it's simply just your skin color, man. You know, people would just hate you because of your skin color. They don't know you, you know what I'm saying, never met you, you know what I mean? You know, but they just don't like you. You know, my grandparents grew up you know, deep in the woods, man, South Carolina, man. And my grandmother, man, she told me that she could count 5 times where the KKK burned crosses in her yard. Okay, for no reason.
No reason.
For no reason, right?
Yeah.
Never knew her, right? Never met her. You see what I'm saying? There are just some people out here who just will not like you. And that's how they were taught to not like you. You know what I mean? Just because of the color of your skin. Now, is it fair? No, it's not fair at all. But don't get it, listen, do not get it, man. Don't get it, you know what I'm saying, twisted. We built this country.
Mm-hmm.
We built this country, man. And,
Yeah.
you know, listen, man, we have some pioneers, man. We the vibe, okay? We are the vibe, okay? Like, when I was growing up, man, you know, you always had the you know, white Santa Claus and the white Jesus and, you know, white this. So my mindset was, that's the standard. You know what I'm saying? But when I went to college, man, right, and really start hanging around some black men, strong brothers, you know what I'm saying? My whole mindset changed, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because, where I'm from, you just didn't see white people, right? Because we grew up in what they call, let's say, substandard conditions, okay? We didn't have a lot at all, okay? So like when you saw a white man, he might have been a cop most of the time, right? We had no white teachers, okay? No white neighbors. So, like I said, man, when I got to college, my whole mindset, like my whole mind state, man, just shifted because what I was taught, and what I was, let's say, exposed to, okay? And that's what we got to do, man. We have to show these young men how great they really are.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And can I jump in real quick?
Yes, sir.
Just to play devil's advocate. And this is a question, it may be a rhetorical question, or anybody could jump in on this. How can we, expect other races to treat us correctly when we don't even treat ourselves correctly? Such as black on black crime, gang violence, this and that, killing people. How can we, overcome other situations when we can't even do it in our own communities?
Mm-hmm.
I'll jump in on that. I think it's important that it's important to know that it's not just black on black crime. There's also white on white crime. There's, every ethnicity or race or cultural demographic have crime against themselves.
Right.
However, what's been largely portrayed in media is the black on black crime.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the research, you would see that there's a higher number of white on white crime than there is black on black crimes. But what you're seeing and what's being portrayed in the media is the black on black crime. Why? Because who controls the media outlet? Right? What is the biggest way to continue to imprison a culture, to imprison a race, right? Is to make people afraid of that race, right? So when you look at older films, right? When you look at older films that would show back in the early 1900s, when they started to do a lot of just cinematography, that they would show the black man as this vicious character, right? The one they would show him as far as an animal, right? That was one of the first times when they started depicting the black man as a vicious animal from a media standpoint, is through movies, right? Mm-hmm. They show that the black man is this animal that wanted to rape the white women, right? So the media white people have always controlled the media outlets, right? So I don't want to sound as though like I'm against white. I just want to spit facts. And these are hardcore facts, right?
Right.
We don't control the media outlets. We don't get to pick and choose what's being portrayed, right? We understand systemic racism. We understand microaggression. We understand that people don't just, they don't openly just say I'm racist, but there are ways in which they express it. And the way of expressing it is to show that, oh, it's only black people that are killing black people. No, white people kill white people just like black people kill black people.
That's it.
Mexican people kill Mexican people just like black people kill black people.
Mm-hmm.
The Jews kill Jews just like black people kill black people, or white people kill white people. Yep. But again, we are the ones that are depicted as the violent people, right? Which we've always been depicted that way, right? So we have to always be mindful of that. Like, yeah, I agree, right? We have to get back to that point where we knew the value of the black people. We knew the value of ourselves. We know how much power we possess, right? We have to get back into saying, looking at ourselves and say, listen, forget what they're trying to portray, but this is about us, right? We need to love ourselves.
Come on, preach.
I don't care about getting them to love us. It's not about them loving us or how they view us. It's about how we view ourselves and how we treat ourselves. And that's what we got to get back to. Because it doesn't matter if, like you mentioned earlier, we can do everything right, but they still hate us.
Yeah.
Right? We can see crime, the black on black crime, from a systematic, from a data standpoint, zero out. Right? Guess what they're still gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
There's still black crime. Y'all still ain't nothing. Y'all still the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all still animals.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So again, the media is gonna say, oh, it's the black on black crime, right? Take care of your own neighborhood, then worry about everybody else. There's crime in every neighborhood. But it's our neighborhood that are being shown the most.
Right.
Definitely.
For a reason.
Definitely agree with that. Yes, sir.
Coming up, more conversation with the panel. We'll bring it back. On the next Michael Finkley, Friday, we're excited to have Councilwoman Tamika Isaac Devine with us. She opens up about family, the pandemic, and what's next for her in politics. Don't you dare miss the next Michael Finkley show.
Still talking about the state of Black America and what that looks like today. And so, y'all, if you're missing it, we're having an awesome conversation. And again, it's affecting people that look like us. And then, of course, ultimately, the African-American male and what that looks like today. So not only are we facing racism in itself, but we're also facing this pandemic that we're in, which is known as COVID-19. Over 70% of African-Americans are being affected by this virus. Guys, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts? Anybody? Jamal?
So, just to be honest with you, you know, it has really, hit close to home to me because my mother has. And she's in the hospital right now. You know, I have not seen my mother for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And she's really not even responding right now. Okay, so I've been going through a lot these last couple weeks. So things like this really keep me, really keep my spirits up, right? So I appreciate this. But people, listen, fellas, we have to take this thing serious. It's real. I'm telling you, it's real. It's real. Where I work at right now, man, we've had 5 clients to pass within the last 4 weeks. 5, okay? And they follow, what we call the COVID protocol. You know what I'm saying? But, but it's still caught it. We have to make sure that we are protecting ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, let's be smart about this thing, man, because it is real. Listen, your boy was the first one said, man, you ain't gonna get me. You know what I mean? Listen, but I'm telling you, when my mother caught it, my uncle caught it, 2. Well, now 3 of my friends have it. You know what I'm saying? It's real, man. And you don't know how real it is until you're affected by it, when it hits your own home. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's so, man, listen, man, it is so important that you be mindful of, where you go, you know what I mean? And the people that, you hang around right now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, you just got to be careful. That's all I can say about it right now, man, because it is real, brother.
It's definitely real.
So I'll speak on it. And I'm sorry, some of my friends are continuously calling me for whatever reason. Let's see. So you mentioned that it's affecting 70% of African American when we're not even the majority in this country, right? So I'm always wanting to think deeper. Let's think why, all right? If we're not the majority of this country, but 70% of African Americans are being affected. Why is that?
Right.
So let's look at health disparities,
Mm-hmm.
right? Health disparities from, not having adequate care, access to adequate care, whether it's through treatment facilities or whether it's through insurance, right? So that is a component as to why that number is so staggering within the African American community. All right. I think there's also this notion with Black people that if we survive slavery, we'll survive anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just out here still trying to live our best lives, right? Not taking it as serious. So there's a multi-level, there's many levels to it. There's the levels to where we're not taking it as serious, but there's also the level of, okay, systemically, what is going on, right? Why are we disproportionately more receptive to this disease than our white counterparts? Why is that? All right. And I think we have to look at those factors. We have to look at the health disparities within the African American community as to why we're more susceptible to contracting this disease and actually it being more fatal to Black people, right? Black people are at a higher rate for developing diabetes, right? Asthma, respiratory issues, all of those respiratory issues. We're at a higher rate or higher risk of developing said diseases, right? And when you look at COVID-19, there's the categories that put you at a higher risk, and those are the categories, right? So oftentimes, again, it's the sense of health disparities is the things that we have been conditioned to put in our bodies that makes us, that puts us at that higher risk level, especially when it turns as it relates to developing diabetes, right? Of course, some of the stuff is more genetic, you're more genetically predisposed to it, but a lot of it is the things that we consume ourselves, but the things that we're eating, right? That puts us at a higher risk of developing diabetes and things of that nature. So we have to be careful, right? As stated earlier, we have to take this serious. We can't be out here living our best. And I live in Atlanta, right? And Compound just had this big indoor pool party, bro.
I saw that.
And I'm looking like, really? Like, is it? I know that, Atlanta is this town or this city where, there's always something to do, right? It's the city that doesn't sleep, right? And people are going crazy having to stay quarantined, right? So now that the government decided to open things back up, people don't know how to act. There's like, all right, COVID doesn't exist, but we're seeing increasingly higher numbers now that things are open back up. Mm-hmm. This isn't fake. This is real. This isn't fake news. Mm-mm. Like people are dying over this stuff, right? So we got to be more mindful that there's not only a pandemic from a social standpoint. This is also a pandemic, and it's continuing to exist. We're continuously being wiped off this planet, all right? From the health disparity standpoint of it, and just how the fact that we being Black. We got to be more mindful of it.
And I want to add something to that as well. So sorry to hear about your mom, Tuck. I understand. My sister was there, bro.
Appreciate that
as well, and it's been a trial. Mm-hmm. Definitely been a trial, and so we see that this is affecting our community even the more. But yet we have a president who said, still after giving away stimulus packages, open the states up, open your states up. I will override you if you don't. So what can, as you may know, what can even this administration do to even assist in decreasing numbers? What are your thoughts?
They can't be afraid of the president.
And then what I was going to take it a little deeper, it's all on us, you know, it's all on that individual. We have to know when to fight that temptation on not going to that pool party, or, you know, oh, I don't need to go to the mall to get these Jordans today. You know, I don't need to go to the mall. I could stay home and order it offline or something. I don't need to go out to eat today. You know, I'm gonna cook in something today. So it's just all about us as a people, as a nation. We need to kind of, you know, don't have that little urge. I know we all got that cabin fever and everything, but at the same time, like the young brother said earlier, this is serious, you know? In the beginning, you hear somebody, oh, somebody got that COVID. Oh, I'm good. We survived slavery. I'm black. I'm straight. I ain't know no black person that got it. But we got to lose that notion, and we have to worry about ourselves, because it's really knocking us off, and it's knocking off our old generation as well, too. And those are, you know, the wisdom, and, you know, they knocking that off. And then they locking up our young kids. You know, we about to be on that brink of extinction. You know, they coming at it both ways. It's probably triple ways, because it's financial as well too, handicapping us as well. So it's so many different things. But as a people, as a nation, as a culture, we need to come and stick together. And if we're gonna stick to one plan on, hey, we're gonna stick inside, we're gonna stay inside for X amount of time, we got to do it. But, you know, we always gonna have those people that still gonna turn up for the one time and try to get they fun time. They living their best life and everything. But that's just a part of the nature. That's human nature. You know, we're gonna have those bad people. But we gotta stick together, stay strong, and stay focused, man, because it's very, very serious. And I was one of those in the beginning saying, oh, I don't really believe it too much, you know, but until it trickled down and you see the time on Facebook, and you see friends, and then you see other people that's in your circle that may have gotten it and everything, like, man, this is serious, you know? So definitely just got to be aware and just be mindful of what we're doing. Cleaning up behind ourselves, making sure that you actually truly soak everything, and just trying to be a better situation, man.
Yeah. We got to show restraint. You know, although things are opening up, you know, as Jamal said, it's on the individual, right? He can open things up, but it's on us to actually go out, right? So we have to show restraint. Yeah. We have to show that stuff. We have to be disciplined.
Definitely. What does the norm look like in the future? Will there be a new norm? Will it be normal again?
It's going to have to be a new norm. It's going to have to be. Now, what that is, we don't know. But it's going to have to be, man. You know, going forward. You know what I mean? Something has to change.
Right.
You know, the norm is defined by the people, right? So whatever, as you know, the people say, whether it's from an individual standpoint, you define whatever your norm is. You know, I think that this pandemic has put a lot of things in perspective for me personally. For me, you know, I'm a high achiever, and I'm always going and going and going and going. And you know, this pandemic has caused me to really slow down, to really put things in perspective from just a family standpoint, right? Being present for my daughter, being present for my son, being present for my wife, and actively engaging in my family, and just finding more creative ways to utilize my time. All right. You know, so for me, I feel like this may become my new norm, right? Just being more here, you know, just trying to be more in tune with my family, instead of just being on the go all the time, but just learning to be in the here and now.
Yes, sir.
Mine, basically, my new norm is just, you know, like my man said, family time. Like a lot of times I rip and run, but a lot of times this kind of really helped me truly sit down and, you know, chat with my wife, build that communication, see where we need to work on, because we still have a whole bunch of time and everything. And, you know, before COVID, we rarely do that. But now this actually forced us to build up that communication and everything, and build up that face-to-face time. And also, I do a few public speaking gigs. It put all of that on hold, but at the same time, it's helping me to basically work on my craft and give me time to start, you know, adding more tools to the tool belt, doing homework, studying, watching other people's videos, you know, watching things of this nature. So this kind of, I'm using it as a study guide to kind of perfect myself for the new norm. So when things do open back up, if it ever get back to quote unquote normalcy, I will be ready, you know, and everything on that, on the business standpoint, as a personal standpoint, and as a husband standpoint as well too. So just basically just trying to sharpen up the skills and keep right, man. But I do miss going to the gym though. So I got to kind of find another extra motivation for that. But because the
Do some
motivation at
push-ups,
home,
man. Do some push-ups.
man, I've been trying, man. I lose the motivation, man. I lose it. And I'm honestly, man, I'm like, man, I need to go to the gym, but I've been doing push-ups, but I can't, it don't feel like the same thing when I'm hitting them weights, man.
Yeah, you
But
right.
I guess it's just a mind thing, I guess. But
Yeah.
like I said, this the new normal and everything. So just basically just trying to make the best situations out of it and not being a Debbie Downer, just trying to see the positive sides of what can be, that I'm still here, that my family is still here and everything. So just being grateful and everything, just saying I'm still here in the number, because it could be always worse, you know? So just being grateful of life and actually seeing the wonderful things that's happening, seeing my kids and everything, because I could be laid up somewhere, I could be gone, you know, on the other side, you know. So I'm just truly grateful to be here.
Thank you. Last question, fellas. Words of advice and encouragement for our population, for the race, for anyone that's just feeling down about what's happening in the world today. Let's start with you, Avery.
Love is the greatest conqueror of them all. You know, we got to learn to love each other, finding our hearts to see past our individual differences. And not only that, allow ourselves to sit in that sense of being uncomfortable to grow, right? When you're comfortable, you can't grow. So allowing yourself to sit in this sense of being uncomfortable so that they can spark conversations that will ultimately lead to change. But we got to tackle the heart. You know, you got to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, you know, is this who you truly want to be? Not based off what you've been taught, but what is it that you feel? And allow that to kind of dictate the decisions that you make.
Love it. Terrance?
Put God first, man. You know what I'm saying? Put God first, man. You know, this crisis right here, man, you know, going through, you know, this COVID situation has really, you know, let's say, you could say, man, strengthened my faith. And it's caused me to read more. And that was something that I hated to do, man. Reading books, man, was just not my forte. But I love reading books now for some reason. So listen, man, read, please read. I'm telling you, you will, listen, man, you will benefit from that. But listen, man, spend time with your family, okay? Spend as much time, you know, with your parents, you know, with your loved ones, man, with your loved ones, your friends, whatever you call, whoever you deem as your loved ones, right? Spend as much time with them as possible and follow your dreams, okay? Because listen, man, tomorrow is not promised, okay? Step outside your comfort zone right now, okay? Listen, man, find your purpose, okay? Don't let nobody, man, tell you what you cannot do. Trust me, we all have, man, listen, man, we all had some barriers, right? But listen, man, we found ways. One last thing, man, find yourself a mentor. That's so imperative. Find yourself a mentor, man, because listen, man, my mentor, man, changed my life, okay? So find yourself, you know, that guy, that woman, whoever, okay, that can lead you down that right path. All right, God bless you.
Thank you.
Yo, man, y'all don't put the pressure on me, man.
Nah, I just tell you what I always tell y'all boys.
but mine, honestly, because Mike, you kind of, you know, we've been really tight knitted and stuff. Basically, a lot of people have been losing their jobs during the COVID-19. I actually lost my job before COVID-19. So Mine is kind of, I'm going to tie into everybody's story already. So basically staying true to God, staying close to him during that time. You know, I got a family to feed, I got a house payment to make. It got me closer to God, and, you know, sharpen up that word and get really into that word and, you know, get that into my spirit. So before COVID, I've been really trying to grind and get myself, you know, back right with God, back in right favor and everything. So I already knew how to work and operate without having the income coming in and, you know, using my gift to make room for myself, you know. And at the same time with that, you got to have that love as well too. I couldn't go around and start hating the world because I had gotten into a bad situation, you know. So those people that may have lost the jobs are a dime a dozen. You know, that job, you lost that job, guess what? That job lost you. You know, you are the person that's gonna make that job better. You know, look at it as they lost a good thing. So I had to learn that as well too. I'm like, man, I bust my butt for this job and they, you know, them put me out. And I was having hatred and everything, but God said he was gonna make it work for me, you know? And from that day on, I didn't miss no payment. I didn't miss no car payment. I didn't miss nothing. He had my back. So with that being said, that love, being close to God, being true, and it's just, I always love to say, I'm loved, I'm valuable, and I'm precious. Sometimes we have to say that to ourselves. Stand in the mirror and say it to yourself. For those people that's looking at maybe down right now, you are loved because people are here. You're watching this video. People pouring into you right now. You are valuable because you're here on this earth. You're watching this video. You know, that's another thing. And you are precious because your life is truly a precious diamond. You only have one life. You can't get no other else's life, you know? So that's my closing remarks. I'm loved, I'm valuable, and I'm precious. Stay close to God and everything will be okay.
Each of you, Meek, each of you have said some awesome things. Each of you have encouraged and inspired me in this frame. I thank you for being on. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and sharing your love with everyone. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.